Hey, I hope you're doing good. It's Chris here from Sixstream Fingerpicking. Today, I thought I'd share with you my 15 tips for better fingerpicking. So let's just get right into it. Tip number one is learn good finger selection. And by that, I mean learn which finger you should use to play each of the 6 strings. And there's this general rule that we follow for good finger selection when we're starting out, and that states that the thumb plays the 6th string, the 5th string, and the 4th string. The index finger plays the 3rd string, the middle plays the 2nd string, and the third, or the ring finger, plays the 1st string. So that's just general rule. And as you get better, or the longer you finger pick, you'll realize that it doesn't always make sense to use the fingers exactly in that order. But for the majority of your finger picking, you do want to follow this, as I say, general rule. So learn it right off the bat, and it's going to really help develop good finger picking technique and lay good foundations, as I say, in your technique. So that's where I'd really recommend starting. Master good finger selection. Tip 2 is hand positioning. Know that where you place your hand whilst you're finger picking on the strings really does impact your overall sound and tone of what you're playing. So if you're really kind of far up, almost on top of the frets, too far up this way, it gives you like a really warm, almost slightly cluttered sound. And then if you're right the way back here down by the bridge, you get a really thin sound. So when you're starting out, you want a good all-round tone. And I think a great place for that is towards the back half of the sound hole. If you imagine a line going vertically down through the sound hole towards the back half, about there, it's going to give you a really nice all-round tone. Then later on, experiment, play a bit further up and a bit further down. And as I say, play around with those tones. But to start off with, that's a really good place for the majority of your finger picking. Okay, tip 3. If you're finding that you're finger picking and your hand's floating, and as a result it feels a little bit unstable, try planting your pinky on the body of the guitar right about here and using it as an anchor. You'll find that it will stabilize your hand and your wrist and allow you to play with more comfort and ease. And as a result, your finger picking will be more accurate. Okay, so try it. It doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody does it, but give it a go. You might find that it really helps. Tip 4, learn lots and lots and lots of finger picking patterns. Each one's going to help develop your finger picking technique, but we use patterns to make music with, and lots of songs are made up of finger picking patterns. So learn as many as you can when you're starting out. Eventually you'll learn so many that you kind of forget all of them, and they kind of all blur into one, kind of to a degree, and you'll be able to flip between them at will. And that's kind of exactly what you want, but it takes time. So learn lots of finger picking patterns. Tip 5 is to work on exercises and drills that are going to strengthen your weaker fingers. So really kind of these two, your middle and your ring fingers. Your thumb and your index are going to be your strongest ones, just naturally. So you have to train these two to be equally as strong. You don't want a weak link in any of your finger picking fingers. So take the time to strengthen them so they're all equal. Tip 6, you got to have a good, strong, independent thumb. It works against the other 3 fingers. It kind of works on its own, does its own thing. So therefore you need to develop it, because if your thumb's not strong, it will show instantly. It needs to alternate the bass strings, for example, with accuracy and precision, and it needs to be consistent. So take the time to really develop your thumb. Tip 7, you really want to be able to palm mute the bottom 3 strings whilst having the top 3 strings unmuted and ringing open. So like this, so muted, 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 and then open, open, open. We play like that very, very often when finger picking. So there, the bass notes you can hear, they're muted. And then the higher, the treble notes, they're ringing open. What you'll find is that your sound sounds more compressed. It sounds a bit neater, a bit tidier. So you absolutely want to be able to do it. Again, it's not something that we do all the time, but it happens a lot. And often what you're playing kind of calls for it. So you want to be able to do it at the drop of a hat. By the way, if you want in-depth lessons on absolutely everything that I've been talking about so far, then head over to sixstreamfingerpicking.com. Over there, there's hundreds and hundreds of lessons going into great detail on all of this stuff. So check it out, link down in the description. So my next tip is to experiment with different lengths of your fingernails. Some people will say that you really should have long fingernails to fingerpick, but it's just not true. The only difference is if your fingernails are long, you're going to get a brighter tone than if you're playing with the flesh of your fingers. So you just have to find what works for you. So try them long, try them short, try them medium length. Try all kinds of things. Try fake nails. Try also using a thumb pick as well, or growing the nail out on just your thumb. Play around and find what works best for you. There is no right or wrong. Just find what you like, what feels and sounds good to you. Okay, so next tip, repetition, repetition, repetition. Understand that to get good at fingerpicking, just like to get good at anything else, requires a lot of repetition. So just accept that, be willing to do it, and as I say, just repeat, 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 repeat. So if you're struggling with a fingerpicking pattern, just repeat, 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 repeat. If you're struggling with anything, just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. The reason why you can't do something is simply because you haven't done it enough times. So just accept that it's going to take a bit more repetition. Tip 10, learn lots and lots of songs. Fingerpicking songs, songs that have been arranged for fingerstyle guitar. Start building up a repertoire of songs that you really like to play. You can learn all the fingerpicking patterns in the world, do all of the exercises and drills and have good technique, but at the end of the day, people just want to hear songs, so learn them. And the great news is at Six String Fingerpicking, we've got hundreds of songs for you to learn for beginner, intermediate and advanced. So check it out. I'll link to the song library at Six String Fingerpicking down in the description. Tip 11, study the greats, the true professionals that have been doing it for years, who are the best fingerpickers on the planet, and just watch them. Study their technique and just study how they play, learn their songs and listen to them speak about guitar and fingerpicking and their philosophy. You will learn so much from doing that. So please, please find these great players, the Tommy Emmanuels, the Chet Atkins and so on, or just people that you really like and admire. Just study them and it will do wonders for your own playing because you can steal so much from them. So my next tip is to not just learn online, and if you can, get a good private teacher, because they're going to be able to watch your every move on the fretboard and scrutinize everything that you do on the guitar, and they're going to be able to highlight any mistakes or bad habits that you may be completely unaware that you're even making, and they'll put you on and keep you on a good path to success with fingerpicking. So yes, do YouTube, and also do online courses as well, because they're a really good investment, often for not a lot of money at all. And there's none of that distraction that's on YouTube's, and they're really focused. So there's some great online courses out there. Check out some of mine, of course, if you want to. And also a good private teacher is probably the best investment you can make in your own playing. Tip 13 is have clear goals. Ask yourself why you want to learn how to do this and learn how to fingerpick. That way you're going to be much more inspired to continue doing it and getting better at it. Otherwise you'll just be wandering around not really knowing where you're going or why you're even doing this in the first place. So really ask yourself, why am I doing this? And then come up with some goals that you want to achieve. Tip 14 is to be consistent with your practice. I know that's so obvious, but it's just so important. And we all need to be reminded that, consistency really is key. So you've got your goals, you know why you want to do this. Then you really do need to turn up, every day to get better and better in order for you to really reach those goals. Otherwise, you can't blame yourself when you don't achieve what you want to achieve out of it. So turn up and be consistent. And so finally, my last tip is to just relax and enjoy the process and understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It really isn't the easiest thing in the world, learning how to do this. And it takes, as I say, repetition. It takes dedication, it takes consistency, and it takes focus. So don't expect anything to happen overnight, and don't beat yourself up too much when you don't get something right away. Just turn up again tomorrow and just keep going. So the last tip is just understand and accept that This isn't going to happen overnight. There's no rush. Enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Head over to sixstringfingerpicking.com where we cover everything in great detail that we've gone over here. There's a whole load of courses that you can take. You can try them all out completely for free too when you join the newsletter. Links down in the description. Remember, also at Six String Fingerpicking, there's hundreds of songs for you to learn and lots of great stuff all on fingerpicking. So check it out. But that's it for today. Thank you once again, and I'll see you again really soon.